Hello, and welcome back to our SIGNL4 Onboarding series. Previously in our onboarding series, we've gone over the ability to create a new SIGNL4 account, invite users into our account, create new teams and assign our users into those teams, and then create an endpoint to receive events from your third-party software, and to use distribution rules to consume those events and forward them on to the correct teams, ensuring your right users are alerted at the right times. Next up, we're going to use Escalation to ensure that none of our alerts are missed or unresolved inside of our SIGNL4. So we'll see here that I have loaded up on the left-hand side the SIGNL4 web portal, and on the right-hand side the SIGNL4 mobile app. First thing we're going to do is inside the SIGNL4 web portal, we need to ensure that our teams actually have escalation turned on. Now this is turned on by default. However, if I click on the Teams option, and then choose my team and select the settings option, under the privacy section, we'll see a toggle for teams can be an escalation target. And as I said, this is by default turned on. However, as you can see here for my IT Apps team, this is currently disabled, which means they cannot be targeted by escalations. So if I have a new alert come into my SIGNL4, and I'm going to go ahead and open that here in my mobile app, we'll see here that it comes into the support team. And if I open up the alert itself, we'll see that here it is support. And if I click on under the Actions tab, this Escalate button, we'll see here that I have only listed out my SecOps team because I have 3 teams here. The support team, which received the alert, so it cannot escalate to itself. The SecOps team, which does have escalation turned on. And the IT Ops team, which does have escalation turned off, so I can't escalate to the team with it off. However, if I go ahead and enable it for my IT Ops team and click on Save, as soon as the refresh occurs, we'll now see that we have the second option under our Escalate teams with IT Ops as an option. So if I go ahead and select the IT Ops team, I can back out of this alert, and now we'll see here where I have 2 alerts, one that went to support, the original one, and then one that is the IT Ops escalation. We'll see here that the support alert was escalated out of the team and the IT Ops alert was escalated into the team. And if I go ahead and open up this alert, and I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it, and we scroll down a little bit, we can now see the full escalation path for this alert. So we'll see that it started in support and then was escalated over to IT Ops, who has now acknowledged the alert. And if I go ahead and close that, we'll see that the IT Ops alert is now closed as well. So this keeps track of the full escalation for your alerts, both manually and automatically. I'm going to go ahead and close my support one as well. Now let's go ahead and see this automatic escalation in action. So now that I have turned escalation on for my IT Apps team, now we need to create the settings for the automated escalation. So here I'm going to go ahead and select my support team. And on the support team, if you click on the signaling option, on this page, we have a couple of escalation options here as well. So here in escalation settings, we have escalate signals when the response time is breached. And as you can see now, this is turned off for this team. However, if I go ahead and enable this toggle, you'll see here that we have the option to escalate to another team or a manager. And the manager is always going to choose the current on-duty manager for this team. However, when I go to another team, I then have the option to select any team that has escalation turned on that is not the current team I am inside of. So I can't choose support to escalate to support. However, I can choose any of the other teams I have created that have escalation turned on. In this case, I'm going to select the IT Ops teams, and I'm going to save that. Now, next up is when does this escalation happen? And that's what my signal response time up here under alerting and response is. By default, and as you can see set here, we have 60 minutes set up. So when an alert comes in, if it goes unacknowledged or unresolved for 60 minutes, it will then escalate over here to the IT Ops team in this case, or whatever our escalation path is. Now for our purposes today, so we don't have to wait a full 60 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and change this down to 1 minute and save that option. So after an alert comes in, if it's unacknowledged or unresolved for 1 minute, it'll escalate up to the IT Ops team. And then the IT Ops team is going to receive the alert, and it is going to escalate again after 1 minute over to the SecOps team, who then receives the alert And after 1 minute, it again escalates, but this time it's only going to escalate to its manager instead of another team. So let's see this in action here. Go ahead and send in a new alert. And if I go ahead and open up this alert, we'll again see that it went to the support team. And I do still have the escalate button, but we're not going to do a manual escalation. We're going to wait for the automated escalation to occur. So after 3 minutes, this ticket will go from support to IT Ops, and then from IT Ops to SecOps, and then from SecOps to the SecOps manager. So let's wait our 3 minutes to see this whole process in action. Now that our 3 minutes have passed, if I exit out of this alert, we'll now see that the support alert came through. We'll see the orange bar at the bottom going to the right saying it escalated out of support and into IT Ops with this orange bar here. And then since the IT Ops team still did not acknowledge and or resolve the alert, it then escalated out of IT Ops and into SecOps, where again, because it wasn't handled in a timely fashion, it was escalated out of SecOps and into the manager for SecOps. So with managers, you don't create all new alerts. It's just a part of the corresponding alert, but we'll still see the escalation path going out. And if I open up any of these 3 alerts and scroll down to the responses tile, we'll now see the full escalation path showing here as well. So from support to IT Ops, to SecOps, to the SecOps manager. In addition, inside of the mobile app, if I go back up to the actions tile, we'll notice the escalate button is now grayed out. And this happens whenever an alert is escalated, either manually or automatically. That escalate button gets grayed out because you cannot escalate an alert more than once. Now, in addition to being able to view this inside of the mobile app, we can also view this in the web portal. So if I go to the Signals tab on the web portal, we'll again see all 3 of our alerts with the same orange lines letting you know when an alert was escalated out or in for the entire path. And if I open up any one of my alerts and scroll down, we'll again see the full escalation path going from support to IT Ops to SecOps to the manager. And this is how SIGNL4 can use escalations both manually and automatically to ensure that no alerts are missed by your teams, to ensure that every issue is handled in a timely fashion. Thank you and have a nice day. Goodbye.